Hi, I'm Paul Roberts, and this is Conscious Counseling 101 in the Bat Cave today, talking to some bat buddies. A generic video, even though one particular person that I've known has called in with difficulties on his mind, his heart, and his life, and I'd like to speak to this. And maybe others can also benefit from the things that I say. I'll start off by reading what he says. I've been going through the ringer since, well, I won't say because we don't want anybody to know what this is. I've been going through the ringer. I've had a motorcycle accident, financial decisions that are difficult, that have caused problems because of being upset, being out of work. Part-time job is, I won't say what it is. It's threatened by my past mistakes in regard to money. I took the job to fix those mistakes. It's a catch-22, he says. I pray every day. Any advice for me? I'm so lost. I'm doing everything right to fix things, but everything seems like the world and God is punishing me for my past mistakes. I just want to die in my sleep. If I seek help, I may lose my part-time job, which I need. I'm trapped. After speaking with you and your messages, I see you as a friend, not just a guy that offers costume items. I'm tempted to sell what I do have for money, but he feels that would be an insult to my heart. Since some of the things are mine. Your videos are great in regard to counseling. All right, now I'm going to go off the deep end here for a second, and then I'm going to hopefully reel you back in. Please bear with me, because this is going to sound asinine, especially if you don't consider it seriously like I do. Guys, I'm not joking with you. I literally am Batman. Let me tell you why this is. I just came in here today after sitting at my desk looking very much like Michael Keaton as he was in that movie when the bat signal shone through the window and he goes, wondering what to do. The difficult circumstances that we're talking about now in the world, they're on us all. There's a lot of reasons for it all. I'm not going to go and analyze that. But suffice it to say, I just got done saying the most asinine thing you probably ever heard out of anybody. I am Batman. I got out of my chair. I didn't say chair. I go sliding down a tunnel. I went figuratively and slid down the bat pole. I came here as I am to do my work and changed into my costume. And I'm here to reach out to one individual. How many times does Batman go and save everybody? You know, I'm talking about the old nostalgic one. Usually he's going out there because there's a victim. There's one thing that needs to be fixed. Now he ends up saving everybody, right? But he's really only concerned about the one person. The most important thing I can do right now is talk to that one person. I've got my costume on, which is really not this. This is my regular identity. But my flamboyant identity, which is my Batman persona, is to go out there in the real world, not the fantasy world like Batman, but in the real world like Batman, and have a positive superhero changing effect. Or at least make that my goal. I may fail. All the gadgets in my utility belt arsenal may fail. The history of ideas that have allowed me, through Conscious Counseling 101 and Heightened Conscious, that have allowed me to have analytical powers to solve problems and help speak to people, may have failed. So I might be the suckiest Batman in the world, but I'm still Batman. And this brings me to what I'm doing here. I'm not fighting crime. I'm helping people. That's what Batman does with his dual identity. My dual identity underneath this facade that you see me wearing right now, that I help people with costuming, That's only to survive in the world as one of my many artistic endeavors that I've had throughout my career. It's only one small fraction, but it's introduced me to some people and some ways of thinking that's helped me to totally understand what I need to do and how and why. And now we're going to talk about how I fight for this lone individual that feels that he wants to die and that he's being punished by God even though he prays every day. You're looking for an outcome where the clouds will lift and everything will be fine. Forget about yourself for a second. Just look at what's going on in the world. The clouds aren't going to lift and everything's not going to be fine. So what do you want to do? You want to do what I try to offer. Batman and me and Bruce Wayne, they're different perspectives. How he portrays himself to the world is one way of seeing him. How he really is another way of seeing him. How he goes out as a costume crime fighter is another way of seeing him. But the truth is, what compels him to do what he does, that's inside, can be comparatively to what I do. I want you to understand that all these large things that you're using to signify whether you're successful or not, or whether you make it or not, aren't where the proof of the pudding is. That's not even success. That's not even overcoming life's obstacles. That is the most shallow and transitory thing you will ever do. Everybody on the planet is doing those things. You need to work on the larger, the more eternal, the more larger perspective of the whole. Yes, all those things fit in there. Look at me, I'm talking to you, I'm wearing this lousy shirt with paint all over it. You gotta do all that stuff. You do. But that doesn't define me. I'm a symbol, like Batman, and I'm defined by what I do. What I do is what I am inside, underneath what I have to do to get by. And what you are and what you do is inside you, and what you do and who you are is just something that you've got to make a reconciliation with. Who you are needs to become more about what you do in the larger picture, not what you do in the smaller picture. The physical realm is the most small picture. The way that you can be judged by others is the most small picture. Your economic success, even your health of your body with your ailments and your injuries, is not the larger picture. The larger picture is what's coming up and welling up within inside of you and who you are. If you were killed this instant, if you realized that, you'd be a success. You'd be a superhero. If you walk a long journey in life and don't realize that, even if you come to success and accomplish your goals, you may have accomplished nothing. It's very important for you to realize that the things you think you're troubled about and the prayers you think you're praying for the solutions you think you need, even if they came true, they wouldn't necessarily be the most important solutions that you could have. What you need to do is you need to see an overall perspective so that you understand that the real changes that really matter might be able to be answered by those prayers way faster than you thought, maybe instantaneously. I always say that I try to put everything I can in every video so that if you never see me again and I don't do this, or you just walk away and say, that was a bunch of crap, that you say to yourself, boy, the ideas were there and nobody else has shared those types of ideas with me. And that wallows around inside of you and eats at you. And hopefully there will be a smidgen of truth in there that will enliven you. That's what I want to do. I may go on to another section of this video and talk to you further, depending on if you can get anything out of this or you think it's just a waste of time. I'd be glad to talk to you and anyone else that wants to talk about these things. I'm going to read over some of this again. I pray every day. Any advice for me? Do you know, we don't know that there's a God. We don't know there's a Jesus. We don't know that there's anyone we're praying to. But even in the Bible itself, it says that we're made in the image of God. Jesus, if you believe in such things as this, I don't want to get too far away from secular qualities, but he talks about himself being the light of the world. He talks about knocking and the door will be open. Why wouldn't, if there is a God and there is a Jesus, why wouldn't what they say work on every level, even secular? If you go and see what there is to see, and you look and you search and you consciously come alive, and you utilize that, even if you're not labeling it, knocking on the door, and becoming conscious and looking towards the light, you're still doing it. One day, you might come to see that symbology as being another thing than what it is. Just like I'm using this crazy symbology as I'm Batman. Because in so many ways, the symbology fits, and it works that way. It's a part of my psyche. It's a part of my drive, my symbolic nature to live out that childhood ideology. And we, as fans and costumers, share a lot of those things. But we also get things wrong. We also think that Batman is about glory, kind of like the pirates, the romance, and the swooping down and taking vengeance and fixing everything with iron will and strength and special gadgetry and stealth and sleuth qualities and just all kinds of things that are outside the realm of the normal human and what they can expect. This takes us and ramps us up to believing that what we're going to have are outcomes that are dynamic and fall into the perfect spaces we think they should in life in order to feel good and justified. We fought that villain, we won, we go back to our cave and we're fine. No. You've got to fight what is within. You've got to realize that what you're praying for isn't necessarily, if you get it, the answer that is necessary. Yes, those things are nice to have solidity. But we're going to go into a world right now where more and more people are not going to have solidity. Not only with the leadership we have in government, not only with the financial crisis, but with the virus thing and the way we're going to change our world for a while, and people are going to drop out of having good incomes, and maybe there will be a ripple effect through the debt crisis, and it'll get even worse. Everybody that comes to me, I'm not going to have this same answer for. I'm giving you this because of where you're coming from. A costuming fan, a Batman fan, such as myself. That's how I found you. And maybe if a few of you other Bat buddies are watching this, you'll understand that that's why I'm speaking like this. Because it's so close to my life. I'm not making this up. It's literally the way I view things. And I'm literally operating in the way that Batman would operate in real life. I just want to die in my sleep. That feeling will persist as long as you continue to think the parameters that measure your success and your position in life are such that you have come to believe they are. All you need to do is realize there are larger things than this, and you'll never be as depressed and downtrodden as you are at this moment. All you need to do is realize that there's a lift that can occur through perspective and understanding the greater whole. And when you understand this, the things you pray for will change. The way you view what you're receiving will change. And your operation with it will change. I'm going to go on to part 2